Guys, what we're going to be doing in this video is an unboxing of something that I've been waiting on for quite some time. We're actually going to do a little bit of an unboxing of this particular firearm. Of course, it is the Tisas 1911 DS carry. And we're also going to be doing a field strip just to show it to you guys. And in the future, we're going to be doing some range videos with this. Before we get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, like and share the video, and leave me a comment down below. It really helps to overcome the YouTube algorithm. First of all, guys, I have been trying to get my hands on this gun for quite some time, and it has been extremely difficult. Of course, there are just a limited number of them available. I've been talking with Tisas, even trying to get my hands on one. And recently I found this. I had to go all the way down to Smith's Grove, Kentucky. Now there is a store down there that I've been to before. It's been on the channel before, called Smith Grove Gun. I'm going to leave a link to their Facebook page down below, and I would appreciate it if you guys would go over and thank them for me. Tell them that I said hello. You know, I really appreciate them being able to get their hands on this for me. So here we go, guys. Let's just look at it. You can see here we do have a cleaning rod that comes with the kit. We also have the manual that is there as well. And of course, Tisas, all of their pistols come with a very, very nice case. That's something that they've been doing more and more of. And of course, you got your instructions, as you can see here. A little bit of the information about the gun. The lock, we'll just set that out of the way. The chamber flag, of course, I've had this out already. And of course, we have a barrel bushing tool. You can see here that's something that they do send with the guns, and that is a very nice little accessory. You've got a pin pusher there. You've also got the barrel tool there. And one thing with this gun is that you get 2 magazines. Of course, we have one in the gun, and I'll have to say, guys, it's very tight in there. You can see here, as far as the magazine, it comes with 2 17-round magazines. Any of you guys that are curious about this, the Prodigy magazines will work with these. In fact, you're going to be seeing one in future videos. And of course, here is the gun itself. We will go ahead and pull that magazine out, and you can see there is nothing in the gun. This is a weighty gun. I do not remember exactly what the specs are on this gun. You can look them up online. This is one that does have the optics cut if you wanted to add an optic onto this. I will probably be leaving the iron sights on it. That's just me. I prefer irons, and there again, it's personal preference. You can see here, guys, we do have the rail. This is the carry model. That is the 4 1/4. It does come with the traditional barrel bushing. Now, the Mac 9, which is another version that Tisas makes, it does have a few additional upgrades. It comes with a bulled barrel. Now, of course, this one does have the traditional bushing, and you can see that stainless barrel there. The sights, now the rear sight is a Glock pattern dovetail, so you could replace these with some different sights out there on the market. I don't know if I will do that or not. We'll just have to see how these do. The front sight is, of course, dovetailed in as well. And, of course, it does have the ambi safety, as you can see there. And it is a very positive click. You guys, if you've been a follower of my channel for a while, you will know that I am a fan of Tisas pistols. You can see the trigger there. It is a polymer trigger, so that's something that you want to take note of. And let's just try it out, okay? Right out of the box, you can see there's just a little bit of take up. You get to the wall right about there, and it breaks. Not bad. The reset is right there. The trigger, I think they say it's approximately 4.75 pounds, something like that, out of the box. I don't have a scale, so that's something that I may do in the future, is to get one of those just to show you guys. You do have some texturing on the front of the trigger guard. Now, of course, you guys know how the 2011s are. Basically the grip and the trigger guard is polymer. Now, one thing that Tisas has done here, this is steel. Okay, the slide and the frame are both steel. Okay, there are some out there. My Gerson Witness is, I believe it's an alloy frame. I'm actually going to be doing a comparison video in the future, but for now we're just going to be looking at this gun. Of course, you can see everything here. Very nice. So what we're going to do now, I'm actually going to set this stuff aside. We are going to do the field strip and look at it internally, as well as give it its first cleaning in preparation for the range. Now you can also see here the mag well. There is just a little bit of a mag well on this, and you know, to help with those reloads, just to where you can get those in a little faster. And it does feel good in the hands, guys. I'll have to say it. Grip feels very good in the hands. Okay, but now we're just going to get this out of the way, and we're going to field strip this gun. For those of you guys that are familiar with the 1911 platform, of course you are familiar with how these things come apart, but for those of you who might be new to the 1911 game, we're going to show you here. And there again, guys, even though this is a double stack, typically most 1911s will field strip just like this. Okay, first thing you will always want to do is make sure there is nothing in that chamber. Okay, lock that slide open, make sure that it's empty. Of course, we know that we don't have any ammo here or anything like that, but that's something that you always do. Okay, I am going to put the gun on safe. All right, I'm going to engage that safety, and I'm going to show you why. Because as I go to press down on this bushing, or on this button right here, this is your spring cap here. I want to be able to keep that slide stationary, so locking that safety in place allows me to do that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm simply going to push down there, and you want to make sure that you keep this pointed away from you, okay? Because if that spring comes out of there, it's going to come out of there in a hurry. And you can see I do not have to have that tool. That's something that I like. I like being able to take my firearms down without having to have specialty tools. But I'm just going to keep my thumb over that, and I'm going to keep it pointed away from me, push it down, and I'm going to rotate that barrel bushing, and again keeping my hands over that cap and that spring just to make sure that I keep it captured. Here we have the cap, and we have the spring, and of course I'm going to rotate the barrel bushing 90 degrees the opposite direction where I can pull it loose as well, just like that. And we're going to set it up here. Now, something about these 2011s, some of them, that barrel bushing is slightly shorter, but you can see what it is on this particular model. Of course, this one is in 9mm, just so you guys are aware. Now, pay close attention to this button. You see this button right here? What you're going to want to do is you are going to now disengage that safety, and this little notch that's right here on the slide, if you can see right there where my thumb is, I need to pull that back until that lines up with this notch here on the slide stop. Okay, now that button that we looked at before, I'm going to push through on that just like so, just to see how stiff this is. Make sure that I get it lined up properly, just like that. It is just a bit stiff, I'll have to say, and I'm going to push this out. Okay, it is just a bit stiff on this one, guys, so just bear with me for a moment. I do know that. There we go. Okay. Got that forward. I'm going to keep my hands on that because I don't want to scratch it. And you can see here is my slide stop. I'm going to set that out of the way. I'm going to turn it upside down, and you're about to see why. Now, when I slide the slide off of the frame, if I had it right side up, then I would have let this fall. So that's why I turned it upside down. This is my guide rod. It's a standard typical GI guide rod. We're going to set that down there, and of course I'm going to push the link forward, and then I'm going to push the barrel straight out of the slide. And you can see the barrel here. It does have a little bit of grease on everything, and that's what I wanted to do, is to go ahead and get it cleaned up. And I just thought that I would show it to you exactly what it looks like out of the box. And you can see that there is some grease on this thing, guys. We're going to get it cleaned up. It's sticky. It's kind of sticky, but no big deal. That's why we're here. Now we're going to look at the frame. You can see here one thing you want to make sure of. Keep that safety on. Don't let that hammer go forward and hit that frame. You don't want to damage it or anything like that. And that goes true for all of your 1911s. Okay, you can see here the frame rails, all typical 1911. Now, one thing you're going to notice different, the feed ramp on this one. Okay, if we look at the feed ramp on these, you're going to see that the feed ramp is actually part of the barrel. Traditional 1911s, particularly 45s, the feed ramp is on the frame itself. However, some of these double stacks, as well as particularly those that are the 9mm, depending on the manufacturer, they have the ramped barrel as far as the way that the rounds will feed in. And of course, guys, this is just, it's slimy, so that's no big deal, but we're here, we're going to get it cleaned up. I'm just going to set it down, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick up some cleaner. And guys, check out the description down below if you want to pick up anything that you see here in the video. First thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to soak everything down. Okay, I'm just going to take some cleaner. This is just ram oil. I'm going to get that barrel wet. That's why I put a paper towel down. Just soak everything, set it aside, and just rinse everything off. I want to get all of that stuff off, even that spring. You typically don't have to use anything on the springs, but this whole thing is covered with just a, I guess, a packing grease or shipping grease, and I want to make sure that I get all of that off before I take it to the range. Okay, let's go ahead and get the frame, do it the same, just everywhere, guys, and just soaking it down. Now, one thing that I won't do, I'm not going to put a lot back here on the back side of this. I don't want to get any kind of solvents or anything like that in there with that firing pin, but I do want to get it clean, so I'm going to spray it heavy on the front of the slide. And then what I typically do is I'll take a brush. Let's just reach up here, one of these brushes, link down below, and I'll use them and just start scrubbing everything. You can use an old toothbrush, but this is just my method. Don't use any kind of a steel brush or anything like that. Use a hard nylon brush. And again, guys, I'm not going to be adding any extra back here, but I do want to clean this off. I do want to get that cleaned off real well. I want to pay particular close attention to the breech face. I also want to make sure of the extractor. You can see the extractor here, this little hook that's right here. You want to make sure that you do not have any kind of buildup behind that, because that's when you're going to get some failures to extract. Okay, so we're just going to clean that off just like that. I'm going to do the same with the frame. Just brush it all down. And I want to get all of that grease off of it, that packing grease that they have got this thing just covered in. Okay, but first of all, we're just going to loosen it up just like that. Of course, the barrel come with the cleaning rod. I'm going to go ahead and just run that through that barrel just like that. You know, of course it's new, but at the same time I want to get that mess out of there. And of course I'm just going to look through that barrel just to show you guys what it looks like. This is a very nice barrel, very nice. Okay, so we're just going to set everything aside. Got it all basically cleaned, I guess you could say, for the most part. Let's take some paper towels and just start wiping stuff down. See what we get. And I'm just going to let the camera roll, guys, and I hope that you are someone that likes these guns. I'm sure that many of you guys are, and you're probably going to want to see these things up close and personal. So I'm going to do what I can to show it to you on camera. Let me know if you like this kind of video down in the comments below. You know, also be sure to give me a thumbs up, because if this is the kind of content that you guys like, then that's exactly what I want to try to make for you guys. You know, I enjoy this hobby. It's very fun, and I'm just going to try to bring you guys along whenever possible. Okay, one thing that I didn't do, I just want to hit it again underneath these rails, just like that. At least we're getting some of that grease off of it. And I'll have to say, it's just covered. It's a lot of this grease all over this gun that it's now coming off. And this is just rim oil. This is just a cleaner. I don't think that I need any heavy solvents on it right now. I mean, you can see there on the rag. I mean, it's not very dirty. except for that grease. Get the cap. Go ahead and get the guide rod, the barrel bushing, and the slide stop. Okay, just like that. I think we got it off for the most part, but I do want to take it one more step. And this is something that I typically do, is take some Q-tips. You can get swabs and stuff, but I typically will just keep some Q-tips down here for cleaning my guns. Run inside those rails, just like that. You can see it's not really dirty, but I just want to try to get that grease out. And that side there, it's got a little more in it. So while we're here, I'm sure they fired it, you know, to make sure that it was good at the factory. So, but I'm just going to keep going just to get a little bit more out of here. You know, that grease, the main thing that I don't want to happen is I don't want it to you know, have any issues, because you know, as soon as I take it to the range, especially first time I take it to the range, you know, I just want to try to prevent any issues, which I don't foresee any. I've seen these guns come right out of the box and work fine. You know, I don't think that there'll be any problem. I really like the way that this grip feels. There's a little more heft to it, you know, with that steel frame and the polymer grip. You know, it feels real good in the hands. I would say, for those of you guys that are familiar with the Springfield Prodigies, that is probably a comparison as far as how this gun feels in my hand. But, you know, more about that in the future. But for now, we're going to go ahead and start putting things together. And before we do, and yes, I'm going to put it together just a little bit wet and then wipe it off. This is some cleanse oil. This is probably one of my favorite types of lubes. You can get it right there where you want it. It's got the needle applicator, just like so. Set that down. I will put just a little bit in the rail and on the slide, a couple of places here. Also has a pretty good smell. One place I didn't get is right down in there. Okay, and the barrel, again, I have it just a little bit wet. It's actually going to be probably a few days before I can actually get it to the range, so but it's going to get there. Put the barrel back into the slide. I'm just going to go ahead and put an extra drop on that link. If I can get it to come out, there we go. Now I'm going to take the guide rod. We're going to set it in place. Again, guys, if you are curious about 1911s as far as how you clean them, this is exactly how you would clean a 1911. I mean, this, even though this is the double stack, 1911s are pretty similar. Or I should say they're identical. The only difference with this one is the grip. The width of that grip. Now I have that back together. I'm going to take the barrel bushing, and I guess I could have put this in first before I put the spring in, but no big deal. Again, you got to make sure that it's rotated the correct direction. I'm going to slip that into the end of that slide and over that barrel. If you don't have it rotated in the correct direction, it won't go in. Just like that right there. So see, you got to make sure that you're in the correct direction. Okay? Once you have that in and you have it flush, then you rotate it to the other side. Okay, just like that. Now my link, I like to make sure that it is sticking up, similar to that. I'm going to take my slide and the frame and put it back together. And let's see just how stiff this is. Okay. Now, just like that. And what you want to watch for through this hole, I want to get that link lined up. Okay, you can see it there. I'll rotate this over. I'm going to take my slide stop and put just a dab of oil on this. Okay, get that lined up. And I'm trying to do this through the camera, guys, so you guys can have a better picture. Now, right now, I don't have it perfectly lined up. So, what I need to do, there we go. I need to get that back into place. You see, this is something about with the 1911 that is a little different. Now, you can see that link right there. Let's see if I can get this to go through. I'll have to say it is just a little bit tight. There we go. Now, okay. Now, one thing that I try to do, because I don't want to get that idiot scratch that you see on the sides of some of these guns. Okay, I'm going to get this back here where I need to have it at. You can see there, that little notch, again right there. I'm going to get it lined up there. I'm going to raise this up. I'm going to pinch it between two fingers, and I'm going to make sure that I have everything lined up properly, the way it needs to be. And I try to pinch and push down at the same time there. You can see it started already. Okay, so, and that way it kind of helps to prevent that idiot scratch. Okay, just like that. Now, okay, I'm going to push the slide all the way forward and then re-engage that safety, because there again, when I start to put this spring cap back on, I don't want that slide to drop back. So now, just like that, I'm going to push this down to the gun and then rotate that barrel bushing till it catches. Again, keep it pointed away from you. You can see there I have it captured, and now I'm just going to finish rotating it over. Clicks into place. I'm going to rotate the gun over, take the safety off, cycle the action just like that. Safe direction, press that trigger, hammer falls, cycle the action again, release, listen for the click. Very nice. And guys, that is the basic cleaning steps for this gun. Again, this is brand spanking new. Been waiting for it for a while, and I'm glad to have it. I'd appreciate it, guys. I'm going to be doing a range video very shortly, like I say, here in a few days. So be sure to subscribe and check that out. But guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Check out all the links down below. Become a channel member and you will have early access to my videos. As always, guys, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.